if you have Outman in front of Lux, two guys that can both steal 20 bases, and then if Lux is a really good offensive player, then you have Betts after that, Outman's going to get great pitches to hit. And if Outman gets great pitches to hit, watch out, man. I mean, that's a pretty good 8-9. And then who would be the 7 hole? Teoscar Hernandez? Maybe somebody like that. So let's go through the lineup. Lead off Mookie Betts in the 2 hole, Freeman, Shohei in the 3 hole, Max in the 4 hole, Will in the 5 hole, 6 hole. Let's go Teoscar, 7 hole, James in the 8 hole, and then Lux in the 9 hole, and then that would leave Jason Hayward in the 7 hole. Maybe Teoscar 6 hole, Hayward or Margot in the 7 hole. Whoo, that's a pretty darn good lineup, man. Jason Hayward or Manny Margot, not great offensive players. I think we would all agree with that. Not terrible. I mean, Jason Hayward was good last year. Not unbelievably great, but good. But man, as a 7-hole, they're good. I mean, they're good offensive players for being a 7-hole. They very well could be top 10 as far as when you look at the end of the year, what did you get out of your right field offensively? What did everybody else get out of right field? Not necessarily an individual person, but just that position. I think their production easily could be top 10 offensive production for a right fielder. You could say, hey, well, James Outman was inconsistent. He struck out a lot, over 30% strikeout rate. I can't disagree with any of that. But he's also a guy that had a WRC plus that was 25% above league average. He was a guy that was almost a 2020 guy. He was a guy that was very explosive, and the advanced analytics would say he was a above average offensive player. Put him in front of Gavin Lux and Mookie Betts at the 8 hole. I mean, you tell me a better 8 hole in the Major League Baseball than James Outman. Let's say that you move Teoscar Hernandez to the 7 hole. Is there going to be a better 7 hole in the game of baseball than Teoscar Hernandez? Is there going to be a better 8 hole in the game than James Outman? Will there be a better 9 hole in the game than Gavin Lux? And then Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani might be the best top 3 in your lineup in baseball as well. So you easily, if you put Teoscar Hernandez, James Outman, Gavin Lux, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani, back to back to back to back to back to back, you possibly could have 6 guys in a row that are the best hitters in that spot of the lineup of anybody else in the game of baseball. That's how good you could be. And then you're going to orbit that with Will Smith, who possibly has the ability to be the best hitting catcher in the game of baseball. Make that 7. And then there is times in the season where Max Muncy is the best hitting third baseman. Now, Tate, trust me, he's very inconsistent. He's up and down. But there are going to be periods of time where Max Muncy is doing more damage than any other third baseman. There's going to be periods of time where Will Smith is the best hitting catcher of everybody, of any catcher in the game. So that leaves you with Manny Margot and Jason Hayward, of which, if that is the biggest concern that you have, if that's the only concern that you have to where you can say, well, there's probably never going to be a time in the season where they are the best 6-hole combination, okay, that's still pretty darn good. I mean, that's still pretty darn exciting for an offense. And I think Gavin Lux can provide some dynamics. I think Mookie Betts can provide some dynamics. Will Smith was inconsistent last year. Hopefully he's not as inconsistent. So you could have Gavin Lux, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani, Will Smith. That's 5 hitters in a row that, in my opinion, should hit 275 or 280 and above. That should have strikeout rates below 25%. So that's very exciting for me. I think that's a really good lineup.